Welcome back to another episode of Dentside Depot. Today I'm going to be showing you my 1979 F-250 Crew Cab. We're going to go through the truck. Believe it or not, this sucker was saved from going to the scrap heap, and I'm super pumped to have it because it is an ultra rare truck and it's actually in surprisingly good condition. So sit back and relax and let's check this bad boy out. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to go around the truck. I'm going to show you the Marti report on the truck. We're going to talk about it a little bit. And we're going to go through the interior on this thing, which I have not looked through yet at this point. And I am really excited to bring you this truck today because it is a super rare and desirable truck. First thing right off the bat, this truck has been parked since 1990, and that is conclusive evidence right there, which is pretty incredible. Now, since I've gotten the truck, all I've done to it is I put a front clip on it because it had essentially nothing on it, and I put a Dana 60 front kingpin axle in it really quick, one of my extra ones that I had laying around because the Dana 44 was completely smoked. And that's about it. I have not touched this truck since. The story of how I got it and the title and everything else is going to be a second episode because that is an epic in itself. But today we're just going to go through the truck now that I know it is actually officially mine. So you can see the outside is a little bit rough in some spots. Obviously, I put a different front clip on it that doesn't have any rust. The doors have rust, front and back, and the bed is toast. Okay, and that's pretty much on both sides. And check this out. Original license plate still on it from 1089, 792. Pretty cool. I guess this guy was into Harley Davidsons. Look at this. June 24th through 26th, 1988. Can't really make that up. And the colors kind of make sense. This guy was a Harley guy, and these are definitely Harley colors on this truck, which is kind of funny. So you can see the bed is toast. There's nothing left of it. But here's the crazy thing with this truck. This is a Pennsylvania truck sitting outside since 1990, and it has absolutely zero rust in the drip rails, and I mean none. The drip rails are absolutely perfect on this thing, which is impossible. Unfortunately, a tree did fall on the top of the cab and dented it down, and it rusted here because water was sitting. But I'd rather fix this right here than have to deal with rusty drip rails, and this truck certainly does not have rusty drip rails, which is really incredible, especially considering how bad the rust is in other spots. Like the bed is toast. I mean, how often do you see a bumper like this? It's completely wasted. It's pretty amazing. Heavy pitting in the bed. I mean, the bed is done. There's nothing left of it. It's absolutely toast. Same thing with this side. You can see the bottom of the doors are done, and that's really about it. So let's take a look inside here. All right. So someone swapped in Lincoln seats in the front, which is an odd decision, but that's what someone did. I don't really know why, but there you go. I guess that's better than a bench seat for some people. And in the back, we still have the factory bench seat, and everything in there looks to be pretty complete, and you can see the roof is caved in, and that's really about it. So let's take a look at the Marti report on this truck, which I really like to do. I think it's important to document the truck and know exactly what you have. So we have F26, which means this is a 4x4 truck, and we have the all-important crew cab option, one of 1,862 in 1979, which I believe is the best year. Now, looking at the paint, we have an ultra rare paint combination. Dark brown metallic with a medium copper metallic. That's going to be a 1 of 39 for all F-250s in 1979, and then only 9 Ranger XLTs came with that color and trim combination. This truck was a 400 truck from the factory, and it was actually an NP 435 manual transmission truck, which I think is pretty cool. 354 Dana rear axle, Dana 44 front. Now I put a Dana 60 in the front. And let's look at the options here. We have deluxe two-tone paint, sliding rear window, which is still there. The the bright low mount Western mirrors, air conditioner, AM radio. I don't know if that's a clock radio or just a regular AM radio. If you know, let me know in the comments. Visibility group, which is the cab lights, which are there, roof clearance lights, tinted glass, auxiliary rear springs, which are still there, the painted rear step bumper, which is smoked, and then the highest trim you can get, which is Ranger XLT package. So overall, a very rare truck, built in Ontario like all of the crew cabs. And this one is actually a very early build, 1979. It was almost probably a 1978 truck being built in August of 78. That's a borderline 1978 truck, but it is actually in 1979. So pretty neat, pretty cool. There is no drivetrain in this truck. That was taken out. It is a complete roller at this point, but the frame is in pretty decent condition overall. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go through the truck on the inside. I want to maybe cut the seats out and get a better look at what the floor looks like, maybe get the rear seat out and just really see what's going on with this thing and find all the different documentation and everything else in it. So let's take a look at that. All right, so I'm going through the truck here, and like I said, I have not touched this thing. So let's see, we got a Coke bottle here. I don't know, usually these things have a year on them. PA, I don't know. We got a receipt here of some kind. Please retain Texaco receipt from God knows when. Something in here. I'm not sure what that is. Something the guy bought. I don't know. Let's see. It happens at the Quonset hut. I have no idea what that is, but whatever. All right. Ooh, look at that. We have the Coors light bottle, the vintage before they made the re-vintage ones. Air conditioning unit. So I'll tell you what, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go grab the Sawzall. We're gonna cut these seats out here so we can get a better look at this thing. All right, one seat down, and I would say the upper part of the floor is surprisingly not nearly as bad as this one, which is really bad. Of course, I mean, when you're doing a floor, you're doing the floor in the cab mount anyway, pretty much every time. So I'm not super worried about that. All right, let's get this other seat out here. Can't wait to see what we find. Okay, probably just took 150 pounds out of this thing. Well, that's one way to put a seat in, I guess. Just weld it literally right in. to do some repair on the floor there, but the middle of the floor is not that bad. This guy's like Coors, that's for sure. We got one upper trim piece, steering column piece, and it still has its ashtrays in. All right, let's move on to getting the rear seat out here. It's so rusted underneath. Oh man, it'd be nice to save the seat bracket if I can, but it's so rusted because water has been spilling on this thing for 30 years. See what we got there. Our rear flipper seat in a crew cab. Oh yeah, well, that pretty much tells the story here. All right, I'm gonna saws all this out and then we'll see what we got. All right, this is probably one of the worst seats I've ever seen. There's absolutely nothing left on it because it's been rained on for over 30 years at this point. Pretty crazy. So now is the important part where we're gonna see what this floor looks like here. And it is ridiculous what it looks like, obviously. Maybe bottles and crap we already saw inside here. What I'd like to see, obviously, is as little amount of rust in the back floor as possible. And you can see that you can't script this. Like, this is what it really is. You know, it's not making anything up here. Now, you can't script a spray bottle from '89 that's been rusted through. Just sort of pan, ice scraper. Seatbelts are still on the truck. I'd probably clean those up and keep them, maybe. See what they look like. These papers and things are High C orange juice. Expires March 18th, but I don't know what year. God knows when. That's hilarious. Love to get a date on one of these newspapers. It's so tough to tell. They're so old. Alright. Maybe I'll find $1 million back here. Hangers. Alright, let's scrape it and see what we got. Oh, the carpet's still there. How is this? Oh, zip ties. Free bag of zip ties. I'll use those. No problem. Bethlehem, PA budget lawn care. $19.89. Right there. $19.89. Can't make this stuff up. It's all real. big reveal. Do we have a good floor or a bad floor? Find out next on Dentside Depot Crew Cab Edition, untouched since '92. Well, I have to say, my first impressions are I'm in disbelief. Considering this thing has had a hole in the roof for really who knows how many years. This truck should be completely rotted away. There should be nothing left of it based on the condition that it was in when I got it. There should be nothing left of this truck. I mean, look, there's literally rocks in this truck. For a Northeast truck, there should be nothing, absolutely nothing left. And you can see, and obviously you got to sweep it out. But look at that floor. That's pretty spectacular. There's a little spot where it's bubbling up. That's probably going to be a weak spot right there. Look at this. There's no rust on it. It's solid all the way through. I'm stunned. I can't even believe it. Alright, let's see what the step downs look like. Let's see what we got here. Put the camera down. Of course, water would sit here and rust this completely out. There'd be nothing left of it. And there's no rust here either. No rust there. Oh, there's a little spot of rust. Okay. It's a little, gonna need some repair right there. But I mean, really, without cleaning it out here, that looks pretty darn good. All right, let's go to the other side here, see what we got. All right, so I'm lifting up the original padding that's on the step downs, just like I did on the other side. From underneath, it does feel solid, but you're seeing this as I see it for the first time. No idea what it actually is underneath. Gotta get this all out of the way here first. And I think all the residual rust here had come off the roof and the seat. In the middle part of the roof. And not from the floor. Remember those guys? Okay. Alright, let's pull it out here. again. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe it. There's no rust on it. The front looks like this, and the back looks like this. It's really, I mean, there's not even any rust in the seam here, which you really would not expect to see. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is, you can see it's all solid. I'm gonna grab the vacuum cleaner, just get the last few things out of here, and I'm gonna blow it all out and vacuum it out so you can see what it actually looks like when it's all cleaned. Okay, and there you go. It is all cleaned out, and it is pretty unbelievable how rust-free this truck is in the cab, considering the overall condition and storage of the truck and the fact that it's here in the Northeast. It certainly has some spots. It's got a little spot here. Probably this section right here I would cut out and redo, but here's the thing. It has good metal, and when you have good metal, you can repair the cab floor because you have good metal to weld to. Most of these things would be like this, would be completely rotted out and just destroyed, and this one really doesn't have any rust. You know, when you talk about a truck that would be really bad. Floorboards don't really matter because you're replacing the whole floorboard anyway, no matter what you do. Now, one thing I do want to show you, I forgot, is check this out. On the tag here, okay, so here is the tag for the truck, obviously, so you can see it's real. It has the factory rivets in it still. But here's something really interesting. The tag says DSO of 15, which is not Philadelphia. It was modified by Phoenix Manufacturing Incorporated in Nanticoke, PA. But here's the deal. This is actually a Philly DSO truck, but it was modified and given a different tag or whatever it may be, which is a wild thing I've never seen before. So maybe it's a dual DSO truck. I have no idea. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dentside Depot. I know I geeked out a little bit on cleaning this thing out and getting it ready to go, but it is so rare to find a usable crew cab truck, especially one here in the Northeast, and especially one that it is rare as this truck is. And I am super excited to bring you the restoration of this truck later this year in 2024. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dentside Depot, and we will see you in the next episode.